Now your child can visit steamy jungles, grassy plains, and the dark depths of the ocean to meet and learn surprising facts about the magnificent animals that live there. Does that sound familiar? Well, today we're talking about Zoobooks. Zoobooks was founded in 1980 by John Wexo. It became increasingly popular in the 1980s and really took off in the 90s. You were able to call the number on the commercial and subscribe to the magazine. I had the 1999 magazines and I absolutely love these. I have always been a huge animal lover for as long as I can remember. It's no shock that I've been a vegan for over a decade and was a vegetarian before that. But anyways, these magazines were really cool to have, and I was like obsessed with animals as a kid. I mean, like, I was obsessed with Pokemon, I was obsessed with stuffed animals, and also Zoobooks, of course. And yes, I'm aware Pokemon are not real animals, but they're very clearly inspired by animals. So back to Zoobooks, each magazine focused on a specific animal or animal family, and even bugs. These magazines were really colorful and showcased photographs, diagrams, and illustrations to help you get a better understanding and appreciate the animals that you are reading about. There were also lots of activities and fun facts to read about, so it really kept you engaged and interested. So I thought it would be fun to try out some of the activities in these magazines, or at the very least, humorous. So for this activity, it says, humans can die if their bodies get too hot. This is why people sweat when the air around them gets warmer than their bodies. As the sweat evaporates, it cools the body and helps to keep it cooler than the surrounding air. To see how this works, put some water on your face and stand in front of a fan. Feel how your skin gets cooler as it dries. Camels don't sweat as easily as people do. When the air temperature rises, a camel just lets its own body temperature rise as well. This way, the camel doesn't start to sweat until the air gets really hot. And this saves a lot of water. A camel can let its body temperature rise 6 degrees Fahrenheit without hurting itself. Like, I just don't know why they tell you you have to wet your face. Like, it really couldn't have been your hand or your arm or anything, but for experimental purposes, I guess we gotta do it. All right, let's turn on the fan. Yep. Cold. I don't think we needed to do that to realize that that was going to be the results of this experiment. To sip nectar, butterflies have a long hollow tube called a proboscis. This lets them probe deep into flowers to reach the nectar. When the proboscis is not being used, it stays coiled up underneath the butterfly's head. See for yourself. Would you like to try drinking like a butterfly? First, connect 3 or 4 drinking straws so that they become one long straw. Fill a glass with fruit juice. Put one end of your giant straw into the glass and suck from the other end. Can you imagine drinking all your meals like this? So for the next experiment, I know it said to use 4 straws. I do not have any disposable straws, so I just have this extremely long reusable straw. And I feel like it's at least the size of a straw and a half. It's for a really large tumbler. So yeah, just pretend this is 4 straws long. I mean, yeah. Apparently that's what butterflies drink through. So here we go. Yep, that's what it's like to drink like a butterfly. I'm actually pretty thirsty after talking that long, so I'm gonna finish this. Jumping for Joey. Gray kangaroos have been known to jump 44 feet in one leap. Imagine that you are a kangaroo. How far can you jump in one leap? First, try the standing broad jump. Begin by standing still with your feet together, then take a big leap forward. Measure how far you jumped. Next, try the running broad jump. Begin by running, then take a big leap forward. Which way could you jump farther? Like a kangaroo, you probably could jump farther once you were already moving. But a kangaroo not only can jump farther once it is moving, it also uses less energy. Okay, so it is raining outside, but science can't wait. So here we go. I'm going to be doing the broad jump and then the running broad jump, I think they called it. I don't know. Anyways, apparently a kangaroo can jump over 44 feet. So we're going to measure and see how far I can jump with both of those. All right, here we go. Starting at this leafy thing. Wait, regular jump first. Okay. Not very far. All right, that was about 48 inches. Not very far. All right, here we go. Honestly, not much further. I didn't run very far, but yeah, about 5 feet. All right, so there you have it. Nowhere near a kangaroo. Was anyone shocked by that? This activity says, the huge feet of camels help them to walk on sand without sinking into it. A camel's foot can be as big as a large plate. See for yourself how a camel's big foot keeps it from sinking into the desert sand. First, push a pencil into the sand. See how easily the narrow pencil goes in. Now put a large coin under the pencil. See how the broad surface of the coin keeps the pencil from going in so easily. Now for the next experiment, we're comparing ourselves to a camel with their little claws, I guess. So their hooves and claws are supposed to stop them from sinking into the sand. I don't really have sand, I live in Indiana, but I'm gonna just poke this pencil into the ground to demonstrate. It is raining outside, so that probably will affect the results a tad bit. But yeah, here's my pencil without a quarter. And yeah, it sinks into the ground a little bit. And from what it seemed like they, sorry for all the sirens, it seemed like they wanted you to use the back of the pencil because that wouldn't really make sense to push the point on the quarter. But yeah, so it sunk a little bit in the ground, as you can see. Now let's try it with a quarter. Yeah, the quarter is not going anywhere. And I'm trying to pick a muddy spot too to give myself a better shot, and it's blocking it. So apparently that's how the hooves of camels work for their little hoof claw thingies. Yeah. I also couldn't help but find some of these illustrations to be very humorous looking. So Zoobooks is still technically around, but it's not exactly the same way that it was before. In 2018, Zoobooks was acquired by the National Wildlife Federation publisher of Ranger Rick magazine and was rebranded as Ranger Rick Zoobooks. But like with most things, you can always find these on eBay. I actually did a quick Google search and I found some of these and they were fairly affordable. Luckily for me, I almost dropped these magazines. Luckily for me, I still have my originals, and I know these are my originals actually because they actually still have my name and old address on them, and that's pretty cool that I was able to keep these that long and not lose them. But if you lost yours or you missed out on these and want to order these, you definitely can find these on eBay. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this nostalgic look back on Zoobooks, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye.